Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pro Wrestling Tonight, right here on IndieQuebec.com. It's the Prez, once again here with all the wrestling news. Once again, of course, with my co-host, none other than Magnificent Drey Breeze. How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good, man. Good to see you, Prez.
You too, man. It's been a crazy week once again in wrestling. Tonight was a pretty epic episode of Dynamite, as we were saying even before we got off the air. Yeah, let's get right into it. It started out Wardlow coming out. He's setting up the set for MJF, and he looks very annoyed. They're really like playing into that. And then all the Pinnacle came out, and they had a Pinnacle promo. What did you think about the Pinnacle's opening promo?
Well, first of all, I thought it was great. Like, to me, this is exactly how you should start a wrestling show at this type of quality, because it's a TV show at the end of the day. So as a TV show, to me, this is introducing characters right off the bat, spicing up the night for events that are going to come later. Like, this is one thing WWE does good that they still do in a way. You know what I mean? That I think is good that AEW has started to do it. Impact does that too. You usually start off with something like that. Bad guys coming to the ring, somebody coming to the ring, kicking a promo about
Kind of
what
like
they're gonna
sets up
do.
the tone for the night.
Exactly. And of course it's good because you see more pushing of the babyface Wardlow.
Yeah.
Is he a babyface? Is he more of an anti-hero type guy, kind of like Moxley? You know what I mean? But you see him separating from the Pinnacle in his opinion, in his way, in his manner, seeing how they're just a bunch of like self-egotistical, guys who take
They're
advantage
just
of any
out for
situation.
themselves. And he's
They're
just
all
kind
out
of
for
like,
themselves,
whatever.
you know?
He's very Batista in Evolution, I find.
Exactly.
But
And
it's
that's what the
good.
people
What
love.
else could he do? I couldn't think of a better role for him, really.
Exactly. It's perfect considering this guy has only been wrestling since 2014.
Yeah.
And he's not really wrestled in any of the mid companies. He wasn't in Impact, he wasn't in Ring of Honor, he wasn't in MLW, he was in like Northeastern Indies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he went straight from there, boom. Now he's in AEW. So he's still green in a certain way,
Oh yeah.
Not
Indeed.
I'm
But
not
they've
insulting,
protected
but
him they've protected him in that way. Like they haven't overexposed him. They've put him in there like in good situations, and like the fans were even
exactly.
asking like for more power bombs like in his match, which was the first
Yeah,
match.
he's getting the perfect buildup. He's getting
Yeah.
the perfect buildup. Like it's the perfect buildup for this guy. They've taken him slowly. It showed you how badass he can be, and now he's probably worked on his promos a little bit, his attitude, his mannerisms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's getting pretty good at it. The guy's got charisma. He looks like a fucking $1,000,000. He's that perfect big guy that you need in a company. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they definitely need big guys in AEW. One
Yeah.
thing, so MJF like declares that he wants to go for the AEW title, and then right away I was thinking, okay, maybe that'll be the main event of the next pay-per-view. But then later on, other stuff happens, which we'll get to, and now I'm pretty confused about what will be the main event for Evolution, but that's fine. I mean, they can leave some
I mean,
surprises like that. That's
it's
cool.
good. Yeah, it's good because they have such a big, thick roster, and you
Yeah.
still don't know who's going to join in before the next pay-per-view. Because there's rumors Killer Cross wants in now. Scarlett have been talking about showing up there. We still expect Jeff Hardy to show up there.
Yeah.
If Killer Cross is showing up, that means EC3 and Braun Strowman are probably going to show up because apparently now those three are a thing. You know what
That's
I
a
mean?
pretty
So,
dominant
the dominant faction. So is this
we
the
had other
future card?
debuts tonight already, so
Yeah, exactly. So this roster is getting pretty damn
yeah.
thick. So they could go pretty much anywhere with this card. But coming back to MJF, the perfect heel is without a doubt the most perfect heel in the business.
Right now in the business, MJF's number one for sure.
Number one heel in the
What a
business.
match last week. I mean, we said it last week, but
Yeah, like he's a perfect ring worker. He works like a heel to perfection, works the crowd to perfection. He gets under their skin. They love to hate him, but they love him. They love him in a love to hate him way. You know what I mean? Like you can't not mention him. People still try to take pictures with him. I like how he stays a heel even outside of the ring as he's taking pictures with people in Comic Cons and shit. He's still a dick. He stays in character 100%. And he did that with that promo today. Dominated that promo.
Unfortunately,
Dominate.
not enough heels do that in the business.
Exactly. Stay in
But
character. Austin Aries has
exactly.
been doing it for years, and he's been saying that he's been doing it, and he's been getting shit left and right in his
unless
private life,
unless
so
you have some sticky green, then well, after the
yeah.
show, you might be able to meet up with him. Like I
You
met
might
up with
actually
him
be able
once
to
in
talk
Quebec
to Mark.
City. Yeah,
You
yeah,
might
yeah.
actually be able to talk to Mark and not Austin Aries, because otherwise all you get is Austin Aries with him. And
Yeah, yeah.
MJF is the
That
same
shot him
thing.
in the foot. I was thinking about him the other day. Like, I mean, talent wise, this guy should be somewhere for sure. Like, it makes no
Well,
sense with all the explosion of wrestling right now. It's just his
man,
attitude, obviously.
I would hands down say, like, for his attitude and everything, if it's really him staying in character, cool. If it's really shit that he says, because he really thinks that shit, I mean, like, he's an asshole. But he's still one of my favorite wrestlers of the last 20 years out of the new batch of guys that came out and wrestled more in the beginning of the 2000s. He's, no matter his size, could work a ring perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfectly against a big man, a small guy. He's in the NWA now, by the way. If people want to know, they finally given him a chance. So he's starting to come back into bigger companies again. Cleaning, I guess, people are believing the fact that he says he's just staying in character and stuff. So back to MJF,
Yeah.
amazing.
So then
So
Punk ends up confronting him. Darby and Sting come out, and then so that sets up later on FTR taking on Punk and anyone he wants besides Darby and Sting, which
yeah, besides what do you say, dumber and besides dumbass and dumber ass or something like that, like
I preferred the acclaimed one.
yeah.
Everyone
Two
takes
golf.
shots at these guys. I wonder how Sting feels about that. But
I think he laughs about it. He probably laughs about it, to tell you the truth. He probably does, because he seems to enjoy working with all these younger cats, like totally. So, I mean, good for that.
yeah. So then backstage, Darby Allen is talking to Andrade. Of course, like we knew where this one was going. This is like maybe the low point of the show, but it was only like 30 seconds. Like
It,
he's
it
like,
was,
no, I'm not gonna work for you. Like we knew where this was going. How was
yeah,
like
this was totally like, okay, so we're quitting this shit. So do it quick. Okay, we'll have him meet backstage and he'll just say, no, I'm never working for you. And he'll say, I thought you said that. So I'm going to be the TNT champion. Completely change the subject. Gone. Pow. Boom. That's it. No more Darby Allen ever working for Andrade. Completely useless. Didn't make any sense. Was the worst exchange between three people I've ever seen in my life. And the other
like,
guys
is this
came
gonna
completely
lead to a
down.
match? Is this a build up for a match?
And it wasn't. Well, maybe it is, but in like a
Like at the
year from
pay-per-view, they're like, oh, people are really gonna be like, hey, he told him like you should work for me. And then he was like, I'm not gonna work for you.
and then
Like,
he
what
was
a
like,
great view.
oh, okay. It's like he told Matt Hardy, I guarantee you, I'm going to get him to work for me. And then he goes, you're going to work for me. No, I'm never going to work for you. Okay, I'm going to be TNT champion. It was like, oh, that easy. That was some hardcore convincing, my friend. Like it was, should have not even been on the TV show, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, it was just a small thing, but they just seem to they have to like they're like Andrade, we signed this guy, he's got to be there. He's got to be on the show. I guess.
He's got to be. He's got to
So
be.
we finally got to the first match of the show, but I mean, I'm not saying that the first promo was good, so it was fine. But the first match, so it's Wardlow against the Blade. I mean, I don't mind that it's the Blade, but it feels like there's a bunch of random Hardy family members Like
being decimated.
just like dropped in like a bit everywhere in this show
Oh,
and
oh,
getting
oh,
their ass kicked.
and they got like that's what I'm saying. But I say I think they just broke this faction up because his whole faction just got decimated tonight,
Yeah.
or was a no-show. The bunny was. How is she not accompanying
The
her husband
Blade.
to the ring as she's always accompanied him to the ring?
Yeah.
But I will give kudos to the Blade for his look tonight. Now that was badass. That was a badass look. He came to the ring
I
looking
think
badass alone.
I think he has potential, but like they just don't give him any like he has such a weird character. Give him a weird storyline.
He's a very talented wrestler.
Oh yeah,
Impact
he
thought the
is.
same thing too. Like they signed him years ago, and they tried to push him, and they tried to push him, and they tried as a good guy, and then they tried as a bad guy, and then they, he's a great worker, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem to be able to push that over the mid card status. And I
Or
don't mean
yeah,
that as an insult. I mean that just as the reception that the fans are
yeah,
giving to
that's
him.
it.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like in a general. He's got people that like him, but it seems like the majority are just like, okay, like all right, you
And
know.
he always like there's so many stars in AEW, like, okay, on Dark, he definitely like would stand out against guys on there, but like anyone on Dynamite that's over with the fans that is popular, like he's just gonna get outshined. Like, I don't know how he could really really get onto I don't know. They got to do something with
Well,
him.
to me, it seems like since they signed them, when these guys were wrestling for Blackcraft, you know that clothing company, Blackcraft, they had Blackcraft Wrestling in the
Yeah,
U.S. They actually had
Butcher and
what's
the
his name?
Blade.
Yeah, and they had Tommy End also, Malachi Black. He was their
Cool.
champion. John Morrison was there. It was a big federation. It was very dark. And their whole tag team was a big buzz because they did dark vignettes and stuff, and they
Yeah.
were
I
pushed.
actually even I did some commentary on a couple of their matches in FLQ, and they came to Montreal a couple times.
Yeah, see, and they had a buzz, but
They
it's like
did.
when
They were cool. They did some. They got a great reception.
exactly, but then AEW takes them in, but have you ever seen a dark promo? Like your name is the
No.
Blade and the Butcher, but they're giving like so promos in the middle of a hallway, no vignettes. Like a team like this needs to have what you give to Malachi Black when he
Yeah,
does
exactly.
promos for House of Black. You know, you don't interview him just backstage. So what are you going to do in AEW? Like that's a babyface type interview. You know what I mean? Like these guys have to be pushed with darkness, and we're going to cut you up, and we're going to, you know what I mean? We're going to hurt you. We
Some
don't
kind
just
of
want to
like
win.
Rob Zombie movie-esque promos.
Exactly. And then they do absolutely none of that.
Exactly. They're like so generic that they just come out dressed a bit weird. You're like, what's wrong with these guys? Like,
They come out dressed like $1 million for a heel team. Like they could just be evil. They're
but yeah, there's
intimidating
like no
looking, two big
real
dudes.
explanation. They're just with Matt Hardy, and they're like, we're paid by this guy.
Exactly. And then getting his ass handed to him. Like, and that's it. Shut up and take it, son. You know,
That's it.
so hence to say Wardlow killed him to the cheering of people
Yeah, the fans
asking for
loved
more
it. The
power
fans were
bomb.
so into Wardlow.
So into Wardlow, you know. So I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't like a guy whose finishing move is a power bomb?
That's it. It's
Is it
classic.
not? Is it not one of the greatest finishing moves in wrestling?
Oh,
As
for
per
sure.
se, to if I showed that to somebody who says wrestling's not real, oh, wrestling's not real. When you showed him do through power bombs to somebody on their back, everybody says, oh, that has to hurt.
For sure. For sure.
You know.
No, yeah,
So
Wardlow got a great reception here. He was like a great focal point of the beginning of the show, for sure. So
yeah.
then we get another promo, which was the Inner Circle promo. At this point, I was starting to feel like, is this like is it going to be like too much promos? But then, like I was saying before, we went on the air, like their roster is so big now that like if they don't have at least a couple of these promos during a show, then like you just don't end up seeing like half the roster during an episode. There's been
Seriously.
a problem in a couple recent episodes, which we talked about.
Exactly. You already don't even see half their roster because there's a half of them that are on AEW Dark because they either consider them too green or, they need more work to be on big TV or whatever,
But they're like, we don't have an idea for you for like 5 months.
Exactly. So you can
Happens a
wrestle
lot.
on Dark and regular matches, for the YouTube. So it keeps you a little bit popping, until we can do something with you.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
anyway,
the inner circle thing is
yeah.
I like Santana and Ortiz. Always, I've been a big fan of them for years now. Even Santana's work as a solo in CZW when he was the Wired champion there and everything. I mean, pure talents, these guys. That, like I said, the inner circle has been keeping them down. I mean, in a certain way, Kingston's right about that. They've been irrelevant,
Yeah, I'm
for
really happy. We even talked about that like in some previous episodes, like that they should really focus more on pushing Santana and Ortiz. Yeah, I really
Exactly.
like where this is going. I wasn't sure where this promo was gonna go. Yeah, where do you
But that's
think?
a match
What
I
do you
want
think
to
is
see.
gonna happen with Jericho?
I mean, I think he's going to turn full heel, and Hager's going to be with him. They're just going to be two assholes together.
Yeah, I think at the pay-per-view, it feels like it's gonna be Santana and Ortiz against
Yes,
Jake Hager and Jericho, and like
exactly. And some stipulation match
and Sammy will go do something else. He'll defend his TNT title against someone else.
against whoever. Yeah. So that's it. They even had an easy way of breaking up the inner circle because it was just like over the years, it's been too much of the inner circle. So
I
Sammy put
want to
his
see
jacket down.
Jericho do
you know.
something that I actually find interesting.
Yeah, I think he needs to too. I think he needs to freshen up a bit. But see, I see this as this. Look, you need that duo. The little dog that yaps and the big
Yeah.
dog that follows. And see, the MJF is the little dog yapping with the Wardlow following him and then breaking that up. So Wardlow's going to become a face because he's hot and the people want to see him kick MJF's ass. And then they're going to replace him with Jericho being the little dog that yaps again, that's mad and
Hager.
that whines and people, and Hager's going to be his silent big dog that
Maybe
helps
we'll
him
see.
whoop people's asses.
Maybe we'll see
And
more of him like actually wrestle.
exactly. That's where I see this going. Or that's what I would do, replace 2 for 2, in your storylines and
You
stuff.
like
Freshen it up,
You got to keep some kind of balance in just the way that the cards are made.
Exactly.
Sure.
But I gotta say, I love the LAX reference that Jericho said. By
Yeah, when
maybe
he
I took
said that, I was like, what? Imagine Homicide
and Hernandez show up from behind and beat the shit out of him. Now that would have been a perfect thing.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, Homicide and Hernandez would have made a few appearances, just for like whatever. Have him show up and beat the shit out of him from behind. That would have been sick.
Maybe if they have some kind of street fight or something, we'll get some. Maybe Conan will get involved.
Yeah, that would be cool too. That would be cool.
So
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. So backstage, we have the Young Bucks and Adam Cole. They jump the Best Friends, and then we get Jay White showing up.
Yeah, and then people start going crazy on the TV. Jay White signed with AEW. Well, I've got bad news for you because actually Jay White was the Forbidden Door reference.
Yeah.
When you say the Forbidden Door reference, it means that you're still under contract. You're using somebody that's contracted and they're letting him come there. Because I officially know that Jay White is still under contract with New Japan Wrestling and under contract in the USA with Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
He's actually even been uploaded onto the Impact, you know what I mean? Like on their website.
Yeah,
they
uploaded. Like the storylines are like really gearing towards Jay White being really involved in the Impact.
Exactly. And like I said, they just updated their website and they added the GOD and Jay White to the website. And they don't add you to the website if you're not under
If you're
contract.
just like a 1 week wonder guy.
Yeah, if you just show up every now and then, so but the Forbidden Door, they probably said, yeah, sure, show up. We got no problem with you showing. It doesn't interfere with what we do. So Jay
Okay,
White's there.
okay.
That's cool.
I got a question now. In Impact, Gallows and Anderson are not affiliated with the Bullet Club, right?
Nope.
But
Nope.
here in AEW, Gallows and Anderson are affiliated with the Elite, which is the Young Bucks, etc. And now we've seen Jay White be also associated with them, but in Impact, they're
He's
not.
feuding
So is
with
there
them.
like a little continuity error? Are we going to see the whole thing all joined together, like the
Yeah,
club,
it will.
all the
It
club?
definitely will. It definitely will. In my opinion, I think that's what they're building up to. Because Jay White came in, Adam Cole says, yeah, yes for Jay White, because he's never had any beef with Jay White. Back in his days of Bullet Club, Jay White was in Bullet Club. He was the new guy in Bullet Club when Adam was there. The Young Bucks, of course, they feuded with Jay White, and Omega hates Jay White because they feuded in Impact when Jay White showed up in Impact to challenge Omega, who was the Impact World Champion. That beef started there. He insulted the Good Brothers also by saying that they were all still throwing up Bullet Club signs when none of them was in the Bullet Club anymore, which is a fact.
That's it. So
And
I really
Adam
hope
Cole,
that they like have a good continuity between these storylines, though.
well, it's already started because the Bucks said it tonight too. They're like, hey, him and Kenny are like immortal enemies. Like, what are you doing? And Adam Cole's just starting shit because at the end of the day, I think Adam Cole showed up. He's using them to his advantage, but he remembers being kicked out of the Bullet Club. And who kicked him out of the Bullet Club? They kicked him out of the Bullet Club.
Yeah. They
Jay
beat the
White
shit
didn't
out of
kick
him.
him out. The Bucks and Kenny Omega kicked him out of the Bullet Club. So he's going to get revenge.
We didn't see O'Reilly and Fish. Like, maybe he'll just stay loyal to them,
That's it. He's loyal to O'Reilly and Fish.
Before the Bullet Club.
Before that. And I think he's loyal to the Bullet Club because he said that thing. We took an oath.
Right, like the original
Bullet Club. Yeah, is for life. And the others two were just like, huh? Because the other two are elite. They don't really give a shit about the Bullet Club. But maybe Adam Cole still believes in the Bullet Club, and maybe Adam Cole is going to wear Bullet Club colors in AEW, which is a possibility.
That would be cool.
Because there's members of Bullet Club and Impact.
The Elite and the Bullet Club be two different things.
Two different, I think that's what they're gearing up towards.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody wants to see.
I want to see that.
Even
then Finn Balor shows up and they all start like bowing to him and he like unites them all because he's the original.
Yo, that would be some crazy ass writing. And then but then it would be too NWO and then people would get tired of it and Bullet Club would completely die off because there'd be like 30 members and everybody
no, for sure. And then there'd be an inevitably it would like
that would be great in a movie of wrestling. And then it would be
exactly.
Yeah.
So then we got Isaiah Cassidy, another member of the Hardy family office, completely getting destroyed by Keith Lee in a qualifying
by the free agent signing, probably one of another home run hit in my opinion.
Yeah, and you called that one last week.
Yeah, I told you, Keith Lee, because in my eyes, he was probably the hottest free agent and the easiest to access of all the guys that were available that you could really just bring in. Lives in Florida already with his wife, super easy, accessible, sitting at home, already talking shit about the WWE and just waiting and burning to show up and get signed. So, and his wife is probably going to come soon. So
in this match, he really he showed what he can do. He didn't show everything he can do, but he did a lot. He looked great. The fans obviously knew him,
Oh yeah, and he is what a mobile big man.
Oh yeah. And you know what? AEW needs more black stars. They really do. They just need more top guys that are of color,
Already known, you know what I mean, that have established themselves as champions elsewhere. They have a ton of black men on their roster and black women, which is really good, but it's a bunch of, for the most part,
They're
a
like
bunch of
up-and-comers.
young people and up and comers, besides maybe Scorpio Sky, that off the top of my head that I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of.
exactly.
Everybody else is very young and have been in like indie companies before,
Yeah.
for the most part. So yeah, he's definitely that big black, champion that they needed, but also he's just a big man that they needed.
Oh
Jesus, they need
yeah,
more
he's
than
just
that.
such a great athlete for his size. He's like I
He's
don't
not
know,
boring.
can't really compare
Fast.
him to anyone. No, definitely like this guy definitely
Is your next
gets your eyes on you. Gets your eyes on the
is
screen.
your next TNT champion.
That would be great to see. So yeah, him
So,
against Sammy. Now that would be probably a very good match.
yeah, it would. It would.
Yeah, I
Top.
think I don't know. I don't even think that they've had any other qualifying matches for that ladder match. Maybe on Rampage. Yeah, I think they might have had. I'm not sure, but I could see him winning. Like I don't even know who else is in it, but I could see him winning that ladder match.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. He deserves to be thrown right in that championship.
Sure, yeah. They need to like put him on a
Because
high echelon.
it was taken away from him by a very bad business decision. This guy was on top in that other company.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wanted to see him win, and they put him out there and they destroy him and make him lose and then just cut him. Like, to me, that was the most insulting shit I've ever seen. Like, they did that to 2 or 3 guys that were at the top of their game and just cut them down. Oh, now you're here. Look how much power I have. Screw you. Pow,
And
bye.
like clearly had no idea what to do with him.
All you have to do is put him in the ring and put him in a
That's
match.
it. Exactly. He doesn't really need that much storylines. He could tell a story in the ring. That's like more
Yeah.
the kind of wrestling.
And even on the microphone, his charisma is pretty good on the mic, but he's just him coming out and standing there and
he has a
making his
presence.
glorified faces and presence makes people. Doesn't even need to talk. Keith doesn't even need to talk. His mannerisms in his ring after in between, he, like when the guy did when Isaiah pulled the rope, the rope to his throat and everything. He looked at the guy at the fan and he said, "What the hell was that?" Like it didn't really affect him. You know what I mean? Like he's just like a phenomenal athlete and a great wrestler.
No, for sure. And also they
and a
need more
great investment.
guys. No, for sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's so the roster keeps growing, but he's a must-have.
Yeah.
So next match, this was a really great tag match. FTR, and it was Punk, and he ended up choosing John Moxley. And I don't know why in my mind, he didn't even come to mind Moxley in my mind when I was thinking of who it could be. I thought it was going to be Big Show for some reason. Who did you think it was going to be?
I didn't think it was going to be Moxley. I didn't really know who possibly he could have brought out. I wasn't even kind of thinking that far.
Yeah.
At this point, I was just like, okay, I'll see later.
Yeah.
When they brought out Moxley, I was like, okay, I guess were they even in the WWE at the same time? No, I think Moxley came in a little bit after Punk had just left or whatnot. No?
Yeah. Well, like the Shield basically was there for like a month or two, and then Punk left. Like the Shield actually helped out Punk a couple times, but then like he left like the Shield
abruptly.
First WrestleMania was WrestleMania 30, and Punk left right before the Royal Rumble before WrestleMania 30. So they were there for like a month at the same time, basically.
Yeah, because I wasn't even sure if they really knew.
I don't think they definitely never wrestled. Maybe, but I really doubt it. Won't say never, but probably not.
What I liked about the match was it was very professional. It was 4 guys that you could tell were 4 top guys in the WWE, 4 top wrestlers in the world at one moment. It was clean as hell.
Yeah.
Like the whole match, no problem. It was going. The only negative thing I got to say about it is when they cut to commercial, I was like watching it in the split screen. I was like, Jesus, is this a no fucking count out match? Because they've been out the ring for 2 minutes. Like, what is the referee doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like AEW praises they're gonna follow the wrestling rules, or at least when they announce it, they're gonna say what they do. And this is supposed to be a regular match. These motherfuckers have been beating each other out of the ring for like more than 2 minutes. Like I think 7 commercials passed. You know what I mean? And I'm just going,
the whole thing. They're just brawling around the ring. Yeah, like
I'm like,
especially the fact that you have a hardcore match later, and this is like nitpicking, but this is like a fundamentals thing too. Like the when you have a hardcore death match on the show, they should just don't do anything. Like don't even go out of the ring if you can,
no,
because
because you're taking away what they're
exactly,
gonna do.
exactly, exactly.
You know, you're competing against a later show. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, no, you're supposed to build up to that. You're not supposed to take that away
yeah,
by, of course, it's Moxley. Moxley cannot not fight in the crowd. He cannot not fight in the crowd. He loves to fight in the fucking crowd
yeah.
all the time. If he's not fighting in the crowd, he's slapping a guy or he's throwing the guardrail on a fan and telling them, get the fuck out the way. Like, literally, he scares me sometimes. I'm like, Jesus Christ, never buy ring size with this dude, man. He
Yeah.
doesn't
Well,
care.
he definitely. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hope he's doing better now that he's stopped drinking. That's great. I think anytime FTR is on the TV, it's a good thing. They don't wrestle enough, I find.
No, they don't.
And like Punk and Moxley, they're two of the top guys. Like you said, this was like a great, like four world-class wrestlers out there. Punk and
Exactly.
Moxley get the win, which is fine, but I would like to see, like, while I was watching this, I was thinking, like, are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus really the tag team champions? Like, just put the belts on FTR, put the
It doesn't
belts
make
on
sense.
Santana and Ortiz.
You
Put
know what
the
I'm saying? It's exactly what I've been saying for weeks. Even Private Party would be better
yeah,
as
no, I
tag team
know.
champions. They have Private Party, they have the Acclaimed, they have the Butcher and the Blade, which would be all three of them would be tag team champions in any other indie or mid card company like NWA, you know what I mean? MLW, Impact, Ring of Honor. These guys would carry the belts.
For
You have the
sure.
Briscoes knocking on the door saying, we want to work for AEW.
Oh God,
AEW
they gotta
hasn't
show
called
up.
them, you know? And you've got FTR, Santana and Ortiz, Pentagon and Phoenix,
Yeah.
who are greatest tag teams in the fucking world right now, are signed to your roster. You've got a Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, two dudes who
And the
weren't a
number
tag.
one contenders, don't forget, are another, I'll just say, like, unworthy to be that high book tag team, the Gun Club. Why is
You know
that
what
the
I'm
main
saying?
tag team feud when you have all these amazing tag teams?
I was like, how are they the number one contenders? The only thing I'll say good about the Gun Club is they're plausible heels. They're
Yeah,
good
yeah,
heels.
yeah.
With their dad, they have the, you know, like
They're
we say in
heels.
French,
Sure.
they face à face dedans. They're just
Yeah.
like
Just want to
arrogant
smack him.
assholes. You know what I'm saying?
For
Which is
sure.
good. Okay, yeah, they're heels. You know, we know they're not going to win. We'll make them maybe champions. You know, I don't give a shit. Like they're dickheads, but no, they shouldn't be. You know what I
At
mean?
this point,
Number
it
one.
feels like there should be like an intercontinental version of the tag team belts. And that's who, and Luchasaurus and the Gun Club should be fighting over that.
Yeah,
And like FTR and like Lucha Bros should be going for the real tag belts.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just I don't understand. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Me
But
neither. I
what
don't know where they're going with this tag team thing, but
I don't know. I almost push mute when Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are on TV. I push mute.
we didn't see much of them this week even, but
No, just him going when you threw me in the snow.
yeah, he's like, you
I
threw
was
me
like,
in the snow, like
it was
like
like,
super
oh,
offended.
you got thrown in the snow. Like, welcome to Canadian winter,
Yeah,
asshole.
and
We've
this
all been
is
thrown.
wrestling. It probably like hurt far less than like just a normal move.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that,
Yeah.
but okay, homie.
So next match, we get Jade Cargill. She successfully defends her title against a debuting woman, AQA, who like I was trying to think of what the AQA was standing for, and I was like, I bet you something is like Atlanta Queen something, and she was from Atlanta, so I think they didn't even say what the AQA stood for, but I'm
No, they never
assuming
did.
logically that the A probably does stand for Atlanta.
It probably does. And to me, it
She's
was like,
from
okay,
Atlanta.
she had some high spots. You know what
Well,
I'm
yeah, and
saying?
then she just like lost balance and fell off the top rope. That looks so unprofessional.
You know,
But she hit a nice shooting star,
yeah,
which
that's it.
tells me that they were like, wow, you could do that in practice. Okay, but like, why would they give her a title shot right away? You could do one move
That
and
doesn't make
practice.
sense. One, doesn't make sense. Two, who the fuck is she? Three,
Exactly.
you're doing a promo. If you're doing your first promo, who the fuck mentions who their fucking teacher and trainer was?
It's
I
like,
was
yeah,
trained by
guys.
Booker T. Who gives a shit? Is that all you can say? Tons of wrestlers have been trained by Booker T. Shit, tons of wrestlers have
That
been
doesn't
trained by
mean
Larry
anything.
fucking Sharp. It doesn't mean shit, and no one cares. Why are you giving? Is this Booker? Is this Booker asking you to give him some promo? Because everybody's talking about AEW and he's saying shit on WWE. Is it him that said, "Don't forget to mention I trained you"?
Yeah.
The five-time WCW world champion. So you lost it 5 times? The best comment ever.
Yo, I just thought of a tag team that is technically an AEW, but we haven't seen them. I don't remember the last time we've seen them.
Who?
Devon's sons. Remember
I,
Devon's sons?
I don't even know what they look like. I remember that, and I remember them being on one night, and the
Yes.
next day, I didn't
They
remember
wrestled
what
on
he
Dark
looked
a
like.
couple times.
Yeah. And then I remember seeing, what's his name? Dwayne Martin? Is it Dwayne Martin his name? No, that's an actor. What's his name? The young, light-skinned black kid
Dante
that
Martin.
was Dante Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dwayne Martin's the actor. Yeah, Dante Martin. And I was like thinking to myself, is that Devon's boy? Because
Yeah,
I don't
oh,
remember
yeah,
what
it's
his
like
kid looks like.
he has a kid in there somewhere. It's like a looking at
It's a
like
kid
a bunch of
somewhere.
kids at a daycare, like, oh, one of those kids is somewhat that
One of
kind
those
of
kids
kid, you know?
is Devon Dudley's son.
Yeah. But yeah,
No,
they're
because they were on so briefly. I don't remember who they are. I don't. I really
exactly.
don't.
No, that's it.
I'm sorry. It's not even insulting. It's it's like, what the fuck, AEW? Like, why aren't you pushing these kids, man? At least let them be squashed so we can
So we
remember
can
them. You
remember
know what
what
I
they look
mean?
like.
You
Exactly.
know? Jesus, man. This is getting worse than WCW. They really are putting people on the shelves and fucking paying them.
That's it, man. So
You know?
after that, we got Serena Deeb beating another like out of nowhere woman, but but that makes more sense because this is gonna be like her segment, the professor segment, and I'm
Which is
starting to
good.
feel like they're trying to give all the women failed WWE gimmicks, and they're like, we're gonna get it over. Like Dr. Britt Baker, she's like Isaac Yankem. They're like, WWE could never get a dentist over. And now
And
with
they,
Serena Deeb, it's like fucking Dean Douglas.
yeah, she's the female Dean Douglas, man.
That's it.
Yo, but you know what? It was
Dean
good.
Douglas was cool.
Dean Douglas was cool. Shane Douglas was a great talent.
He
And I'm
was.
not even that sarcastically. I
Me
love the
neither, man. He's
motherfucker.
one of my favorite, actually. He really is.
Me too. Me too, man. Kudos to
Watching a lot
Shane.
of
What are you
old
doing?
ECW.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
he's
a
amazing.
guy that if you watch any of his like shoot interviews or anything like that, if a company would be smart, they would hire him to fucking write shows.
He's amazing. Him and Scotty Raven. Him
Yeah,
and
there you
Raven.
go. Another perfect example.
If you had him and Raven on your fucking writing and producing team,
I'm
your
sure it would be
show
10 times better than anything that's
would
on
be
TV
sick.
today.
These two have sick fucking brains, man, and tons of wrestling knowledge. And Raven could write your show, broadcast as a broadcaster on a
Yeah.
weekly basis, and get in the ring and get involved, and you fucking love him. You'd be like, Jesus Christ, he could do everything.
You know, I actually wrote because Raven, he has a podcast, The Raven Effect, which is a pretty cool podcast. And for a while, I wrote him emails that he would actually read them on the air. One of them, I asked him if he would still do commentary, and he actually answered, yeah. So he wants to do commentary. Why is he not at least doing commentary instead of
You know what I'm
these
saying?
like no-name bozos or these guys like Big Show? Like Big Show is not meant to be a commentator, and neither is Mark
No, he
Henry.
can't talk. Neither. And even in Impact, D'Lo. Like
Yeah,
you got Tommy Dreamer, You got Johnny Swinger. There's been ECW all over
Velvet
Impact for the
Sky
last
should not be a
4
commentator,
years.
and neither should
Yeah,
Beth Phoenix.
exactly. And you're not using Raven, although he is in the NWA now. But like,
Is he?
yeah, he is. He showed up. Yo, their lineup has gotten pretty freaking decent. Like Austin Aries and Raven have now showed up.
That's why
Mike
we
Knox.
got. That's why we got Magnificent Drey Breeze. We cover all the spectrum of wrestling here on Pro Wrestling Tonight.
Mike Knox fucking came out of retirement over the last 3 years since he left TNA, and the last thing they did, he's been nowhere.
NWA,
And
they're
then he
able to
had,
get those guys who looked like they had potential in WWE, but we didn't see much of them, and then they show up there. I like their roster.
They-
Very interesting.
yeah, they have a lot of wrestlers that respect the old style of wrestling and the way the TV shows used to be.
I love the old style, as shown
The old
by,
style's great.
by all the content on the site. You know, there's a lot of old school wrestling stuff, and there will
it's
be
great.
more as well. So let's get into the main event because we got other news. And what did you think about the main event, man? I thought it was a crazy ass hardcore death match. I liked how Archer came out alone and Dan Lambert, he came out from under the ring. I really liked the psychology of how they removed the top rope so that he couldn't hit the buckshot, but then he used the ref who was bent over to do it. A bunch of crazy spots. When Archer did his move onto the stairs, I thought Paige was broken in half. One of the better main events I've seen
in a while.
Yeah, so let me hear your take on it.
It was super good. It made both guys look tough and legit. They both got moments to shine as what they are. Archer, the perfect heel, mean, tough, will kill you when he comes to the ring, basically. Paige, once again, showing his perseverance, you know, that baby face that you just want to come back, you know. He lets his ass get kicked, and then he's able to give it. That move on the side that you talked about, I don't even know what
like upright. Well, not like they were like on their side.
Yes, and that's what I was telling my girlfriend was watching it with me, and that's exactly what I said to her. I said, "See how he turned the stairs? Because when they slam the guys from the outside of the ring, you see guys sometimes give a power bomb to a guy on the top of the stairs. When that stairs is flat, it is intense to take, like because it doesn't have any give.
Yeah, it's made
give at
like
all.
to take a shit ton of weight.
To take a guy, yeah, you know, so it has no give. When they decided they were going to do that spot, he knew he was going to turn it. When he slammed it, I'm not saying it didn't hurt like shit. That fucking hurt.
It gave a bit,
but it gave. You saw the side of it go boom and bend. I said, man, they planned that. But it also could have killed him.
Cool.
If he was
and if they missed
too close to the side, man, he would have been split open across his back. That wouldn't have even been fun to see in any.
Yeah, it's like disgusting.
It would have been terrible. You know what I mean? But yo, what a powerful move. He did it to him last week too. Then there needs to be a name for that. Does he? I didn't hear JR or what's his fucking name, Excalibur, that knows all the moves. Yeah. Oh my God, it's a 1977 Tiger elbow third rope drop. He has these fucking names that you're like, who cares about the year? Why is it an 86 Tiger Bomb? Somebody wasn't doing it in 85? What are you talking about, man? But then a move like that and he doesn't even give it a name. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a good point. And I mean, Archer, like out of nowhere, we haven't seen much of him. He gets a title shot. That seems to be a bit of a theme lately. Like people we haven't seen on the show getting title shots. Like every title I can think of that they have, the last person who got a title shot, we hadn't seen for like 3 months.
Exactly. But Archer's the guy that should have got a title shot.
He looks like he deserves a title shot, though. I will admit that. It's not like they gave Isaiah Cassidy a title shot, but he did get a TNT title shot.
Yeah, you know.
Overall, I would say this was a really good episode of Dynamite, though.
It was a good, from start to finish, had a great flow, had great rest. Put the people over that were supposed to be put over, didn't hurt people that weren't supposed to be hurt, completely decimated the Hardy family, having even Ryan Hardy, by the way, we forgot to mention.
Yeah, Hardy just jet.
Which is definitely going to set up for the next thing, which he's going to come back as, you know. He's gonna turn face, or he's gonna come back to delete, and the brother Nero is gonna come
Yeah.
in. And we all know that Jeff Hardy, at the end of the day, said that he wanted to do Willow again.
And they
He wants
actually have started
Willow.
taking bookings again on the indies together, the Hardy Boys now.
See, so yeah, Jeff Hardy refused the Hall of Fame induction
Yeah.
because they wouldn't induct Matt with him as the Hardy Boys. So he said, fuck a you, Vince McMahon.
Well, like they just fired him. Like, come on, man. That's like you get fired and they're like, hey, you want to come back for like the Christmas party? It's like, no.
Yeah, so we can make money. Yeah, that's it. You want to come back for the Christmas party? There's gonna be sandwiches.
That's it.
The little sandwiches. You know?
We'll
No.
get into some Quebec wrestling news. Stuff is opening back up slowly, ladies and gentlemen. So as we said, IWS, they got that big show coming up, Uneffin Sanctioned Part 2. 2.0 is going to be there. Yeah. Other new shows that have popped up. NSPW, the 11th March in Saint Apollinaire, but I believe that is already sold out, but you have to double check.
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's hometown.
Really? Saint Apollinaire?
Yeah, I swear to God.
It's a nice place.
My eyes kind of raised. Like,
You're
really?
like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah.
And what's fun fact about that is that the last show that they did before the pandemic was there. So like it's a continuation, basically. Like they haven't been back there since. I think it's
good.
like,
if it's sold out, that's good. Go back more. Go back often.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. So, and we also got IWA Quebec, 26th of February in L'Epiphanie. You know L'Epiphanie?
Yeah, I know L'Epiphanie.
So shows are starting to pop up here and there in Quebec. What other that's pretty much it for the Quebec news, but we will always stay in touch with what's going on with that. Random weird news. Boogeyman resigns with WWE. What is the point of that? Why, out of all the people, why did they resign Boogeyman?
I truly think he's going to sell to Disney. Their sales, their profits have been up in the sky, but yet they're cutting people claiming budget cuts. Like you're cutting people, but you're making money. Like, and now they're signing the Boogeyman. Like,
I think they're
really
trying to sign as many people that they can make into like a Universal Studios park attraction where, like, you know, you take a picture with like Buzz Lightyear or like fucking Beetlejuice or whatever. Yeah, you could have the Boogeyman,
Undertaker,
Rey Mysterio, Undertaker, exactly.
Yeah, like super fucking heroes.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, I think McMahon is going on a dying spiral. He's becoming a child again. I don't know if he's pissing his pants and stuff. Like he's like, let's go backwards. Like where else could we go except backwards? Let's go backwards. Like I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with that.
Raw. I don't even want to touch. I don't even want to touch Raw this week. I will say two things. If anyone who saw it, if you don't think that like what the Randy Orton quiz off or whatever it was with Otis and the other guy, if you don't think that this is like good entertainment, then like it's not going to get any better from there. That's like the high point of Raw right now.
Exactly. And they're
ruining guys. It feels like they're like in a fish bowl. It's just like little fish like attacking each other. Like Damian Priest was undefeated for 6 months. Now, just lose like 4 weeks in a row. It's just fucking.
Yeah. Let's take it. It's like they have, it's like they must, like for real, they must have the most weirdest goddamn board meetings. They must have the weirdest production meetings I've ever seen in my life. Okay, what can we do, guys? How about we take the titles off of everybody at the same time and give them to a bunch of random anybody's that nobody would want to see titles on? That's a great idea, Chad. You're getting a raise. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are you trying to sabotage the company to get insurance money, or something like that? Or I don't understand the move you're doing. the direction you're going. Wow,
Any
dude.
wrestler that I see like sent to the Raw roster, it just feels like they're getting sent to this like void. It's like you're sent to purgatory.
Exactly. NXT also. Like now
Oh,
they're taking big
now
names and sending them to
NXT.
NXT.
I mean, I'll say that like despite some shortcomings, I will say Braun Breaker has like some good potential. But just the
Well, he
fact that
does.
they're like burying everyone that they
I
built
mean,
up for so long, in,
I mean,
in
I,
it
of
doesn't
course
look
he has
like it's getting
potential.
any better.
I mean, he's Rick Steiner's boy, and Rick Steiner's a legit, real university wrestler.
Oh
Like, if
yeah,
he couldn't wrestle, that was like, yo, bro. Like, I mean, come on. The man could train you since you were 5 to be a legit
that's it.
wrestler.
And
You know what I
his
mean? Like,
uncle's Big Papa Pump.
you know what I'm saying? These guys were at the top of their game in the 80s and the early
Oh
90s.
yeah,
Like, they were some of the best technical. You believe it or not, before Big Papa Pump was Big Papa Pump, when he was just Scott Steiner, he basically, patented the Frankensteiner that everybody
oh yeah.
does. At the end of the day, like he was
He had a
something
crazy
to watch
wrestling style.
wrestle.
Like it's like he could do anything in there.
And then he decided to sacrifice it all for a character.
Yeah. But I've
I
seen
mean,
him pull off top ropes Frankensteiners like as
deal.
recently as like 2 years ago. Like this
Yeah.
guy, he's a little nuts. But it's Scott
Yeah, and then walk
Steiner.
off and have a stroke 1 month later and wonder why.
Yeah. No. I
Because he
hope
bumped his head doing
that's it.
it.
Yeah. So we'll
But
end the show on a positive note with Impact. Impact had a great episode this week. Some of the highlights: Jordan Grace lost her title, the Digital Media Championship, to Matt Cardona, to
full heel.
tremendous amount of heat.
Full heel.
Yeah.
Even during the match, smacking a girl, doing his move to her, like getting boos from the people, his face. I mean, I'm loving Matt Cardona, man. And he's really showing how talented he is and how they drop the ball with this guy.
I agree.
God, they dropped the ball.
From GCW, Impact, even I would say AEW has dropped the ball by not signing him. I'm gonna go
For
that
real.
far. I'm saying it.
For real. Him and his wife, because his
Oh my
wife
God, Chelsea Green
is so talented and
she
such a
really is.
great face or a great villain. Like she was crazy
The
in
Hot
Impact a
Mess
couple of
was
years
such a
ago.
good character, and
It
she
was
reminded me
amazing.
of so many girls I knew in Sejep.
You know what I'm saying? She was just amazing. These two together, and she's gonna turn heel too, because she's gonna
Oh
face
yeah,
Mick. This is where she turns heel too, and you see that they're a couple of heels, because I think they even mentioned during the show, what do you think Chelsea thinks about your win? And he just
that's
walked
it.
away.
They're
And he
gonna
said,
build
Why
up
don't
to
you
it.
ask John Grisham how did he feel about his loser wife? Which I thought was a sick and nice ass stab
Yeah,
at
like what a
John
good
Grisham.
like comeback.
That was a great comeback. Like, man,
And
him and Brian Myers.
maybe we could see Matt Cardona go for the ROH title.
And I think it's a possibility coming up in the next few
Maybe
weeks.
at Mania weekend.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So yeah, we had Jonathan Grisham. He defeated Steve Macklin, defeating by DQ. He
In a
keeps the
stick
belt.
match.
Yeah, I'm liking this Macklin guy, like you were saying a couple weeks ago. And I've heard his name. It sounds like it should be on a wrestling show. It fits in there.
Should it not?
Steve Macklin.
It fits it.
Right
Yeah.
there, like match 3, Steve Macklin sounds perfect.
And he carries that baggage of a legit badass. The man is I don't know if he was a Marine or a U.S. Army soldier. He fought in war. Like this guy's a badass coming to the ring, a legit badass.
Yeah,
Walks like a badass, talks like a badass, and fucking wrestles like a fucking god. Like he could go with lightweights. He could go with the heavyweights. He could just fucking go.
He's
This
one of
guy's
those
another
guys
guy
that-
that WWE just, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Vince McMahon, everything he's been looking for, and he always has been like, this is what I want when I want a wrestler. He had that in Cardona, Macklin, Killer Cross, and Keith Lee. and he let them all go. And he had Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole, and he didn't pay him enough money to keep him and put him on the fucking show. He had the exact stars that he needed to put back in the place of the other ones that are just too fucking old,
Yeah.
or just people have had enough of it to continue his company being number one, or at least hurting AEW to where they really have to think to compete with him. And he just gave it to him.
He's
like,
like,
"Here."
I know. We'll send out Sheamus again. That's what the fans want to see.
Yeah. Bring back Shane and fight with my son backstage because the Royal Rumble is shit. And then fuck everything that was planned and piss everybody off and make Brock. We always got it with Brock. Well, all you got is Brock and Bobby.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, some kid like who you play basketball against him. All he's got is that jump shot. It's like all he got is Brock, man. Like once you they're a one-trick pony at this time.
Yeah, it's like they got a really talented roster of like 10 guys that are still there. Like we mentioned them all the other day, Drew McIntyre, all these guys that are really good. But at the end of the day, the storylines kill these other guys. And then the only thing you can go back to is because you can't
Goldberg.
go back to Taker.
Like, let's sign Goldberg again.
Like, is there something like, I don't understand why the rest of the committee's not like, okay, Vince, you own it, but I think it's time now for you to stay home.
Going to retire. This guy needs to go retire.
Like, he's just going back to these one-trick ponies. And let's bring back. Like, it's like in 5 years from now, are you going to still say, let's call the Undertaker? Call Mark?
Exactly.
He can't walk. Call Mark.
And like,
tell him
Goldberg,
next year.
They've been bringing back Goldberg so much. It's like, since they've been bringing him back, it's been like 5 years now. That's longer than like his initial WCW run. It's freaking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And I'm not taking anything away from Bill Goldberg as to being an intimidating character and a legit badass. But dude, your wrestling matches are borderline indie, like in a way that you're really green still.
Oh yeah. Remember him against Undertaker in Saudi Arabia? They both almost killed each other. Well, almost
terrible. He doesn't know how to carry a match. He has big power moves. Yes, I'll give you that. You have a great character because you're a legit badass. But at the end of the day, the movements in your ring, I'm trying to watch a choreography of fighting, and you're giving me a beat down wannabe, and it's not working.
And if you ask Bret Hart, I mean, Bret says like he blames him for ending his career.
Ending his career.
So,
So no more Goldberg.
That's it. We'll end it on
back to Impact.
We'll end it on a good note. The Impact main event, we get to see Quebec's own Mike Bailey was in there. He teamed with Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Jake something. They took on the Bullet Club, Jay White, Chris Bay, and the Gorillas of Destiny. What a hell of a match. And I'm so proud of Bailey to be in the main event. Last week, another Quebecois in the main event. Quebecois are shining in Impact, and it's amazing. I never thought
the only problem I'm having with Impact right now is I don't know what the Josh Alexander situation is right now. Like, he's taking bookings. He's saying he's free through February. He's free in March or whatnot. And then I'm starting to wonder, his contract was up.
He defeated Vincent via submission on Impact. Maybe Josh Alexander goes to AEW.
It might be coming. I don't know if he wants to stay in Impact, if it's a money thing, if it's the best decision for his career. I mean, he's a Triple Crown winner in Impact. He's carried the tag team belts twice, the X Division title for like a huge long reign. Yeah, I mean, he was world champion fast as hell, and they put it on Moose. Did that make him mad? Is that going to make him feel like, well, they don't really want me to be the champion? You know what I mean? Like, they decided to do this. Is it because their contracts, or they already knew he was talking with AEW and he intends to go there for a while now since his contract was coming up? Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of guys coming in. There's a lot of guys working on both sides of the fence. I mean, look at Jay White. I mean, the Bullet Club is officially Impact. They got 6 members. They got
They
White,
were in the main
Bay,
event here
the
on
Gorillas,
Impact.
and they still have two other members that are with Impact. Hikuleu, the little brother, is there
Yeah,
also and so is El Phantasmo, the Canadian guy. You know, he's
yeah.
there too, and he's part of Impact also. So the Bullet Club's there. That's a legit thing. But Jay White's working AEW. So is Josh Alexander also going to be part of the Forbidden Door? Is he going to go in, for a while? We'll
I
see
was
what
thinking
comes up.
he would fit in with the American Top Team thing and joining maybe with Ethan Page, but I don't think so. And then also, like, it's American Top Team. They can't have all these Canadian guys.
Yeah, because his Canadian top team,
Yeah,
especially when your
exactly.
two best wrestlers would be technically Canadian,
There
you
you
know,
go.
so
Exactly.
it wouldn't make sense. But I'm looking forward to No Surrender. Jay
Yeah,
White is there taking on Eric Young. That's this Saturday, I think. Is it this Saturday or next Saturday?
it's coming up soon, definitely.
Well, you
What?
watch tomorrow night and we'll see the exact date. I think it's the 12th. Yeah. It's Saturday, I think.
Oh, it's February 19th.
Oh, it's the 19th, so it's next Saturday.
Yeah, so there's still build up. We'll go over
Yeah.
the build and all the rest of the build coming up to Elimination Chamber and whatnot going on for next week. So
Yep.
once again, news filled hour. Thanks for listening, fans. Keep in touch with the indiequebec.com and we'll have more news about incoming Quebec shows and always new episodes every week of Pro Wrestling Tonight. Magnificent Drey Breeze, leave the fans with some words of wisdom.
Support wrestling shows on TV, no matter what show it is. Give it a try. Give IWS a try on Fight Network on Friday nights. Give Impact a try on Thursdays. Give MLW a try on Saturday nights. Give the NWA a try on Monday nights. You'd be surprised how many good wrestling shows there are, and there are different options to what you see on the mainstream. And don't think that the mainstream is what wrestling really is, because it's not what wrestling really is.
That's right. Wrestling isn't the WWE network showing you reruns of some documentary of WrestleMania 30 with Seth Rollins crying to his mom on the phone backstage. Wrestling
Exactly.
is wrestling in the ring.
Exactly.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.